welcome to Leicester Fan TV on the route down to Wembley Stadium. How is everybody this morning? Hope you're all well. Are you excited for the game? Where are you all drinking? How are you all getting down there? Get it in the comments and let me know. Smash a like. Subscribe to Leicester Fan TV if you're new. It's Community Shield Day. And yeah, let's get chatting then. Morning, Sean. Morning, Mark. How are you? Are you both excited for today's game? Let me know. Comment, hello. Hayden, hello. How are you, pal? Nicola, Chelsea fan here. Good luck today. Maz, morning. Mark says, hell yeah. Of course, it's a big game for Leicester City Football Club today. Maybe not Manchester City. Carl, morning. Callum, morning. Curtis, morning. Lee Hurst, Neil Plater, morning. Come and say hello at Wembley Stadium to us. Me, Reedy, Phil. We'll all be down there. Tom as well. So yeah, let's get Tom in. Tom,
good morning. I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. How are yourselves? Good morning, everyone else watching.
Yeah, good. So Tom, how are we getting down there today? I can see you driving, obviously.
I'm currently sitting on the M40, travelling south down to Wembley. We've got about an hour and 20 minutes till I get to the car park, and yeah, but I'm looking forward to this one. I think seeing the team news that Mr. De Bruyne and Foden were both injured for today's games has given me a bit of a lift after the other night with the Fofana injury.
Yeah, Lily and Rama, Tom, have asked a question. Who's going to start today then?
I think the team who started the first half of them is, honestly, against Villarreal. I think, the Casper will be in goal, Ricardo, Sainchu and Bertram at the back. And it's the call who plays the other centre-half role. And I'm feeling that Benkovic will get his day today. I really do. I think Rodgers will trust him enough to give him a game. I know he can play a martyr there, and I think Rodgers seen enough for him he can play there. But I think Benkovic might get his nod today in the Community Shield to have a game and see what he can do at that position. The midfield picks itself for Mendy. For me, I know we talked about Didi could play in that back line, but I think we miss him so much in the midfield when he plays there. So Didi, Tielemans and Maddison. Front three, Barnes, Vardy and Perez for me. Oh, Jack's frozen. Jack's signal gone, or yeah. You all right, Jackie? Your signal gone, mate?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, there we go. I can hear you now, mate. You went frozen for a minute. So yeah, I mean, like I say, the same team that played the other night for me.
Yeah. And what about Jack Grealish then, Tom? What are your thoughts ahead of him signing for Manchester City? I had a debate with DJ Daps yesterday from Never a Foul, a Man City fan. He feels that James Maddison's worth about £80 million. He believes that Jack Grealish isn't worth £100 million, and he feels that there ain't much between them to split them. Tom, what are your thoughts on that?
I think, for me personally, I think there's miles between Jack Grealish and Maddison now. There wasn't, but I think the performance of Jack Grealish has put in last season. When he had his injury, but then came back and put some sterling performances towards the end of the season, where Maddison came back about the same time for me, his injury, but never really got lit any fires up. I think Grealish is a few steps in front of him. His move to Manchester City just shows the ambition he has as a player. I understand the Villa fans' frustration, and they want to live a boy with Villa fan, to want to stay at your club all the years and retire there. Of course, you do. We all want that. We have someone. We're lucky enough to have Andy King playing for us for so many years and stay and be loyal to it. He was asked to leave. So look, fair play to Jack Grealish. He wants to go challenge himself. He wants to get better. He wants to win trophies. Is he going to do that at Villa? Time would have told. They from the signings they've made so far, they look like they were building a half decent squad. If they kept Jack Grealish, they probably would have been up around that top 7 this season, because you signed Danny Ings, you signed Bailey, you've signed Oh, the Norwich striker, but yes, you've signed some quality attacking players who probably would say, yeah, they were lacking last season when they lost Grealish. They didn't have enough talent to break teams down. But look, Jack Grealish is one of the most Foden, Maddison, there's three mounts for young English players who want to be playing at the top level. And Jack Grealish at the age of 25 wants to be playing Champions League football every season for a club. So I think Jack Grealish is what's best for him, and probably best for his England chances by playing in the team that's going to be up their challenge for the league this year. So fair play to Jack Grealish, who wants to get better as a player for me.
Tom, transfer news then. Brendan Rodgers has made it clear that he wants a centre-back before the end of the window. Who do you think's in mind, Tom? Obviously, he wants someone who's Premier League proven. Is it Yannick Vestergaard? Obviously, he's been linked to quite a few times. James Tarkowski from Burnley. There's been quite a few names being thrown around at the Tom over these last couple of weeks in the transfer window. Who do you prefer if you went for Premier League experience?
I think if you're going to go for the quality, you go for someone who could be at the back and a leader, and that's probably more Tarkowski. I think the thing what worries me at the moment is Brendan said before the injury last week, a week on Friday ago, was we aren't got a bottle of bitter money. So now the club have got to try and find somebody to find a centre half or go into the free market or loan market for someone. Now, everyone will say, just go out and spend. The reason we haven't got that bond is because of financial fair play. We are not Manchester City. We don't have the revenue of Manchester City coming in from sponsorship deals and everything like that. So it'll be interesting what the pot is. Hopefully they can find somewhere between 15 and 20 million to go and find a decent Premier League centre half. I'd still take Cahill in as experience, mate, for me. It's free. Give him 20, 30 grand a week like we were paying Wes. Well, Wes was a bit more than that. But give him 20, 30 grand. I'm sure he'd look to sit on bench at Leicester City for a season. Play some good games. But, yeah, I'd say James Tarkowski for me. I think the experience he's got with Burnley, he can play in the back four. He looks solid when he plays most of the time. And he was on the fringes of England. So, look, that's the kind of player we should be looking at.
James Smith says Lionel Messi, Tom.
I think, if we all chip in about a grand each, we might be able to get it for a week on his wages. Hey, what do we all think? 32,000. If we all chip in, we might be able to pay his wages for the first week, and he might get one game versus Wolves out of it, mate.
Yeah. Jose Perez, Tom. Leicester fans are very split between the decision of for and against the Jose Perez. He's not Leicester fans' biggest fan, is he, when it comes to criticism and that? I feel against Villarreal, he had a very good game. Will he start today, Tom, or do you go for Mark Albrighton?
It's a tricky one. We know what Albrighton obviously on that side. I mean, I think Albrighton probably knows what his role is. I think Perez will start today, mate. I think his performance against Villarreal was brilliant. He does blow too hot and cold for me at times. It can be very frustrating to watch. For a player, for me, he's probably one of the best technical players we've got in the club with his ability on his feet. But you just don't see enough of what's frustration. I mean, the comment there was sell Perez. Right, sell Perez for who? And what do you get in at this point in the window? I can't see the club selling Perez. I can't see the club really going for a right winger unless it's on a loan or a free now because of the situation with Fafana. They've got to find the money for a centre half. So I think Perez will be here probably for at least the season now. And back the kid. We have seen what him as well and probably told him that he's frustrating for him to play sometimes with it. But we've seen why Perez is picked on the other side of the game, that he work rated phenomenal, getting forward and backwards. So I think it's each week, if he plays, it will all depend on the opposition we're playing. If it's a game where it's a game for Albrighton where you probably haven't got to do much defensive work as much as he can do the defensive side of things. He played wing back that season. We all know his threat going forward and getting that ball early into the box is probably second to none from Albrighton. But where it's a game where it is Man City, where teams will be, defensively solid, you need that little bit of cleverality or bit of instinct to pass that ball through an eye of a needle. And I think he can offer that at times. We haven't seen enough of it, but he can do that and he can make the runs into the box as well. So I think Perez will start today on that right side for Leicester.
Tom, let's talk Mubakar Sumer. how do you think he's bedded into Leicester City? Obviously, people refer him as the younger Paul Pogba at Manchester United. He's got a lot to offer. We've seen what he's capable of. He's only going to get better, isn't he, Tom, the more game he plays this season?
Ubaki Samari.
Yeah, Sumer, yeah.
Samari. You call it Bernard Samari, I'm calling it Samari, mate. Yeah, I mean, I from the games, from everything I've gone into depth to looking into this kid when we first got linked for him from his days in France playing for Lille, and seeing what he was about. He's a ball-win midfielder. He breaks the lines. He likes to go through balls. He's everything that like a box-to-box midfielder should be for me. I keep going back to the resemblance of Patrick Vieira of his build and his stature and his willing to drive forward when he gets the ball. He isn't Ndidi in comparison to Ndidi likes to win the ball back and looks for the 5-yard pass. Sumer will get the ball. He will ping these passes around the park. I saw one of the passes against QPR when he tried to send Bertrand around the back and he nearly got on the end of it. That's the kind of vision this kid's got on his shoulders as well. So that gives us more of a threat going forward if you're playing Tielemans, Maddison and this lad in midfield at times. So, look, it's going to be interesting to see where he plays. I think Rodgers has made his stature quite clear. Him and Daka will be fringe players. They'll be on the bench every week. They will get game time probably in the cups or where he feels he can put them in. But he's going to give them time to adjust to the Premier League. And I think that sometimes we rush through kids to shut them in because they've had a good game here and there. We've got to take a time with Daka and Sumer and gently grade them into the Premier League and get them used to the aggressive side of it and probably how quick it is and paced it is. So look, he looks a talented young man, and so does Daka going forward for this season.
Let's talk Ryan Bertrand, Tom. He's been very impressive so far, especially on a free when he could have gone to other clubs, but he decided to choose Leicester. He's been fantastic, hasn't he, Tom? The way he whips and then let a free kick on his left foot. He's got the experience to help people like Ags and Luke Thomas, and if you watched him against Villarreal, very impressive down that left-hand side.
Oh, mate, I mean, the game against Villarreal, he was phenomenal. And I think he would have played longer if it hadn't been for that tackle, because I think Brendan just dragged everyone to protect them towards the end. He started the game with Burton, if I remember, and he was very good against them. He missed the game against Wickham and then played against QPR in the first half. Again, looked solid down the left-hand side. But not just defensively, mate. His forward thinking of willingness to get into that box area, what we want from our fullbacks. He'll start today again. I think he'll start most games at the moment because how much youth we've got in that back line, especially around the centre-half area. They need that experience playing next to them, and that's probably a bit harsh on Luke Thomas because Luke Thomas at the back end of the season was absolutely flying, and a 19-year-old to perform the way he did in the FA Cup final. He was more man of the match in the FA Cup final, by the way. I thought he was absolutely superb on the day, Luke Thomas. In a big game, in a big, stadium with 22,000 in it for the first time in how many, months, and he came in and performed brilliantly. So Luke Thomas will feel very bit disheartened that he probably won't start the season as the first choice left back. But I tell you what, he's not had a bad start to life by having Christian Fuchs and Ryan Bertrand around him and learning and listening to people like that can only make Luke Thomas better. But Bertrand's delivery for the goal the other night was superb, mate. For 2 goals the other night was superb. He was absolutely on fire, and hopefully that's signs of things to come with Ryan Bertrand going forward into the season.
Yeah. Leicester's last visit to Wembley, Tom, was the Yuri Tielemans cracker, obviously winning the FA Cup final against Chelsea. Great goal, Tom, to top off a win for Leicester to win our first FA Cup trophy.
Oh, mate, I mean, we were there. I felt sorry for the fans who couldn't be there. I do mean that. It was amazing atmosphere. 6,000 Leicester fans singing their hearts out. It felt like there was 30 to 40,000 Leicester fans in there that day. And I think every single one of that 6,500 fans there really stepped up to the mark in where the team needed them. And you listen to people who were at the game who are not, neutrals all said that Leicester were the one who were bouncing and Leicester fans were the one making the noise during the whole match. But we were just brilliant, mate, that day. The whole team, the first half, we had to survive some scares, as we put it at the back post, couldn't get on the head of it. But the whole team, I felt, really worked hard when Johnny Evans went off. We had to change a few things. But look, it came down to a bit of class, and it was our only shot on target. But it's the one that counted. It flew in the top corner, and you can't moan when that happens in a football match. So it was an amazing day out, and hoping to lift the Community Shield, give the lads a bit of a lift after the week. So I can imagine they've been a bit down, losing one of their teammates, one of the main people now in that team, and you wouldn't have said that at the beginning of that season. We never thought Fofana was going to come in at the age of 19 for £30 million and rip up the Premier League like he did. So, look, we go to today's game, and hopefully the lads will get a bit of confidence from the performance the other night. They were superb against Villarreal, and we can lift the Community Shield and bring it back to Leicester, and that'll be the second one time ever.
So let's quickly talk about Riyad Mahrez, Tom. Obviously a big fan's favourite at Leicester when he was here, Mr. Magic Man. He's won a lot, hasn't he, Tom, since leaving Leicester? Obviously he won the Premier League with Leicester. He's had a good career, hasn't he, Tom, at Manchester City, but he just hasn't got as much game time as he likes.
Again, he sulks a bit, doesn't he? That's Riyad. We all know what Riyad's like. He was brilliant for Leicester. I'll never slate him. I was upset the way he wanted to go and the way the Manu tried to force the move forward. Considering if you look at the owners, how good they've been to other players who wanted to leave and they've let them leave after another season or so. He'll always go down bitterly with Leicester fans for the way he left the football club to Sunrise. But look, generally you can't fault him. He wanted to go on. He wanted to go in Premiership week, Premier League's titles weekly, season in, season out, and he's done that with League Cups, with FA Cups, with Community Shield. So, fair play to Riyad. He's had a cracking, few years at Manchester City. He's now in a point where he's got more competition, though. Jack Grealish going there, there's going to be more competition for him. So, it's going to be interesting to see where they all play all these players and who will start leaving, because we all know Manchester City. They signed a few players, and the ones who thought they were in start to leave.
Yeah. Jamie Vardy, Tom, we touched on it last night on Never a Foul. They believe he's finished. So, what are your thoughts on Jamie Vardy? How many years has he actually got left?
I don't know. He's finished, but he scored a hat-trick last year at the Etihad. One of them, he did it with a Vardy flick that absolutely bombarded everybody that day. He scored, 11 goals against Manchester City? Never write Jamie Vardy off. That's one thing they should know that now. Never write Jamie Vardy off. We know he likes a goal against the Big Six. And I think last season we saw after the injury he had, he never really came back the same Jamie Vardy. We all can put our hands up and say, I don't think he ever got back to the sharpness, the fitness, what we saw, because the first part of the season, mate, he was flying. The whole team was flying. From that injury, we never really saw the Jamie Vardy, what was flying and scoring goals in front. Pre-season wise, I've seen a different Jamie Vardy, and it's the Jamie Vardy who's not letting everyone kind of sniff the ball again, and he looks to me like he's moving more freely compared to last year. So I wouldn't write Jamie Vardy off yet. I still think it's like from the old dog yet. And at 34, look, we know he's not going to be as quick as he was. He's still quick enough. So I have a little feeling that Mr. Vardy might get a goal today. He scored last time we played in the Community Shield 5 years ago against Man United on a poached onto a back pass. And like I said, I'm confident we go to today's game. Like, even though we're struggling at the back for the centre halves, I still think we've got enough about us to give Man City a game today without their two probably best players in De Bruyne and Foden.
Yeah, let's quickly touch on Neil's comment, Tom. And N'Golo Kante. Why does no one hate Kante? He was first out the door at Leicester. Do you want to pick up on that one, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's because N'Golo left on the right terms. He didn't force the move. He had a clause in his contract that stated if a team comes in who's not in the Champions League, that he could leave. We won the league, what probably made a mockery of that clause, that he could leave for 30 million to a team who wasn't in the Champions League. Oh, well, that made a mockery of it, didn't they? So Chelsea then could sign him. look, it's one of those things. I can't. N'Golo Kante is probably one that is up there with the best defensive midfielders in the world, and he's up there with, for a reason. That's second to none. He was up there
Yeah.
for one of the main reasons we won the league title, because it was like having an extra man in midfield, as Shakespeare used to say when he played Kante, Drinkwater, and Kante. And everyone laughed, but it was. And I think it's the way that, mate, he was humble about it. There was no going this, that, and the other. He just had the opportunity to go to a bigger club. I'm not going to sit here and say Leicester, a bigger club. Chelsea are not. But on a global business and franchise, Chelsea are miles different to Leicester. And that's what, when it comes down to club size, we want to be up there with them, but it takes time to grow that franchise and the structure of a football club to be up there with the Arsenal's, Man U, Chelsea's, Liverpool's, because they've got such a brand, and that's why they get the money in. So N'Golo left on the right reasons. He got the opportunity, and he had a release clause. The difference between him and Mahrez, mate, is he didn't go sit in an airport, chucking his tummy out the pram, waiting there to get a call to go. So it's so fault in some ways that we had got the stick, and N'Golo hasn't, mate.
Yeah. Let's quickly touch on Colin Johnson's comment, Tom. Harvey Barnes. He came back from injury against Queen's Park Rangers, and Colin thinks he's looking fully recovered and fully fit. And he looked great and took his goal well against Villarreal.
For a bloke who was out for 5 months near enough with a piece of bone that had lodged into his knee, to have it taken out, recovered, clean, tidy, and then get your rehab, and then be back fit and looking as sharp as he did against Queen's Park Raiders, and then look even more sharp against Villarreal is a detriment to the player himself for working so hard to get back pre-season and so hard to get back into a position where he's so fit and so switched on and so determined to get back to where he was before the season ended. Before the season ended, mate, I think he would have been on the plane to the Euros for me. I think he was flying. He was that good, and he was scoring goals and praying goals. So, look, fair play to Harvey Barnes. He's come back like a whirlwind, mate. And I didn't see that happen. I thought it might take him a few games to settle back into the team and to get him sharpness back. But he hasn't lost any of that sharpness from what I saw the other night.
Yeah. Let's talk score predictions then, Tom. Guys, get it in the comments for score predictions ahead of today's game. I think it all depends on which team Leicester's going to put out, doesn't it, Tom, and who's going to play?
I think Rodgers will look at this as an opportunity to build the confidence of the team again after, the season, going into the season. But also, I think we're looking at it as an opportunity to get more minutes under the belt for certain players. I think we'll win today. I've got a feeling we'll win 2-1 today. Does it go to extra time, Jack, or is it straight to penalties now, mate?
Penalties.
Yeah, I've got a feeling, mate, we'll get a win today. I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester. I'm going to go for Vardy and Tillemans. I've got a feeling Tillemans might want to recreate that goal from the FA Cup day if he gets an opportunity to shoot in the same position. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Hopefully he can rediscover it again. Leicester fans are now travelling down to Wembley. Some are already there. The atmosphere is going to be cracking. Come and say hello to me, Tom, Phil, and the boys live at Wembley on Leicester Fan TV. Come and ask us as many questions as you like. Come and talk to us. Don't be shy.
Come on a live show, mate. We'll get you on. I've got the microphone in the bag. Come and have a chat with us. We'll get you live on Leicester Fan TV. We want your views. We're for the fans, by the fans. So come and have a chat with us. We're all friendly people. We don't fight. Well, Phil might sometimes, but hey, we've got people under control today. But look, come and join us. We're all here for a laugh. We're all here for a good time down in Wembley, and we want to bring the people back home, the atmosphere and the build-up to the game. So we'll do our best.
Yeah. Right then, guys, this is bye from Jack. I will see you at Wembley, and Tom will see you as well. We're coming down there. bit of a hectic on the motorway at the minute. Obviously, from Leicester, it was 2 hours, Tom, would you believe, to Wembley, which I'm not really surprised. It's all congested.
Yeah, I mean, it's an hour and 50 from Redditch, mate, but in theory, it's easier for me because I come straight down the M40, mate, straight into the back of Wembley. Whereabouts are you, Jack? How far out are you?
Yeah. Right then, boys, let's get off and we'll see you at Wembley.
So that guys, take care.